Hello and welcome to Hybrid Heavyweight. I haven't been posting for a while because I've got a full-time job and I'm not very good at this. So anyway, I just wanted to post just a small update, just a wee one. I've actually completed my first Hyrox. I completed it yesterday, Hyrox Glasgow, which was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I'd like to do a separate video on discussing the event, how I found it, first timer, totally, totally out of my comfort zone. So I'd like to do a video on that separately and basically tell people that although it's the hardest thing I've ever done, anyone can do it. So I'm just going to do a wee bit about the training that I have been doing, just to discuss what I've done. Not saying it's right or it's wrong, just basically what got me through Hyrox. So training wise, I was doing like a small group training where it was almost like a personal training, very similar. It was low volume people, so it was quite attentive to the coach. So that was great for keeping an eye on techniques, etc. So basically, a gym a gym day or a gym evening. I was sometimes training at 6 a.m., sometimes training at 6 o'clock at night, and it just depended on how my schedule was. So, what the day would be, we'd come in, and every day was a different day of pain. Um, the gym is very set up for Hyrox. It's kind of hybrid. It's not a CrossFit. It's not your say traditional gym. It's kind of hybrid, I would say, in between. So I would say personally, the classes were maybe 60% maybe weight based and 40% cardio. So the cardio would be like your assault bike, your rower, runner, skier, rower, things like those, and then weights were your general weights from wall. You'd be doing wall balls to pulls to biceps or pull downs, rows, you name it, kettlebells, everything. So it was a really good mix, because a lot of it, well, as I'll say in my race video, a lot of it is running. Half the race is running, so you can't neglect your running. I am not the best runner because I'm overweight. I'm too heavy at the minute, so I'm just doing the best I can. So the running is getting better, but it's taking longer. Where I find the weights a bit easier to manage, if you know what I mean. So I find the weights. I've noticed a big improvement now in my weights, but I've also noticed a big improvement in in my running, but it's still miles away. So yeah, there's been improvement all round, but my running's my weakest point at the minute, just due to being overweight, and and that's just the bottom line. But that's why I'm doing this, to lose weight and get better. So the running is going to be a focus from now on. I am going to still be doing weights because you have to, as far as I'm concerned. So I will still be doing weights, etc. But running will be getting more of a priority because I think that's my weakest part. Um, because being heavier is an advantage with sleds, pulling, pushing, farmers cards, stuff like that. There's certain events that suit heavier people. It's easier. So I had advantages and disadvantages, but running's the biggest one and it's half the race. So to get a PB, I'm going to have to focus on running. So that's my plan from going forward. Um, Hopefully stay injury free. I did have some niggles, especially with my knee. This is probably related to doing absolutely nothing, basically sitting on a couch and deciding, you know, 3 months ago that I'm going to do a Hyrox. So that probably didn't help, and plus I'm overweight, so there's a lot of weight on the joint. So if I lose weight, I'm assuming that this niggle will only get better. Fingers crossed. So hopefully, because I've never had any injuries or pains before, but when I had an issue with my knee, slowed me down a bit. The training, not much. I maybe lost probably a week or probably 2 weeks in total because it flared up a couple of times. It got swollen. Seen a physio, and it was all kind of about rest and icing it, stretching. So I did exactly what the physio said. It, it has helped, but psychologically, when you're running at pace, you've always got in the back of your mind about the injury. So it's a tough one, but you've just got to get on with it, and that's it. And that's what I've been doing. There's a lot worse injuries, but that could happen. So thankfully, it didn't cause me any issues during the Hyrox event yesterday. And I also did a simulation before the Glasgow Hyrox, and I had no issues with that at all either. Only thing I did do was I put a knee sleeve on, probably more psychological than what it actually does. But if you're in the right place mentally, then I think it will help your performance because it helped me push on rather than try and protect my knee, because I believe the sleeve was protecting my knee rather than going slower. So there is pros, and there's always pros. There's always a positive to a negative, and that's what you've got to remember. So that was the only kind of niggles I was having. I was training when I was okay, but I was majority okay, so can't use that as an excuse. I was training probably 5 times a week, high intensity. So there was a lot of late nights. Some nights, after work, we get home till 9, 9:30, have my dinner, and then straight to bed, then up again at 5 a.m. to start work, or then start training at 6 a.m. So it does take it does affect if you had a family life, it will affect that because it's, it's so important to train. I can't, the Hyrox is such a hard event. You can't just turn up, rock up, and it's not like a 5K. We'll rock up and we'll walk, and what I mean. You really need to train to do the Hyrox. You don't mean all, you would probably get round, but it'll probably kill you. So you have to train. So you have to dedicate some time away from friends and family and all the distractions in life. But I've embraced that, and I've really enjoyed having time for myself and making myself better. So swings and roundabouts. But saying that, when I've gone to the gym, and that, I've never not wanted to go to the gym once I got in the swing of things. I never found it a chore or hard work or don't get me wrong, those days where you're straight on a Monday, oh no, burpees, you're feeling tired. But the days where you didn't feel great going in, you probably trained the best and the hardest you've ever trained. I don't know how that is a thing, but it seemed to, for me, some days I'm not feeling up to it, and then you're absolutely fine. So it's a weird one, that, but speaking to a few people and they say that, they'll come and say I'm not that bothered, and then they'll go and do a PB on the equipment, and it's like, well, you weren't feeling up to it, and you're absolutely flying. So when you're not feeling 100%, sometimes you train better. So don't just go because you think, oh, I don't think I'll be 100% effort because I'm not feeling great. Just go because you'll probably do your best session you've ever done. So just do it. It's consistency, consistency. Just keep going and keep motivated, because if you are planning doing a Hyrox, speaking from a kind of unfit, heavier person, so important to do your training, because I was going around, and I'll talk about this in the other video, but I could see quite a few people thinking about their life choices after after a couple of stations and a couple of kilometers, and there's a long way to go. After that, there's still another 6 stations and 6 kilometers, so there's a few people that underestimated it and got humbled pretty fast. So just bear that in mind. It really, book something and give yourself plenty of time to train. If you're doing like some me, 0 to Hyrox, like the events now, we're in March 26th, so the events or kind of dates are getting released, say, for October, round till kind of this time of the year. So if you start now, you don't have to wait till Monday. Start now, and you've got 6 months, and what a difference your body will make. And completing the Hyrox, trust me, is like the best thing ever. You'll feel like you can do anything once you've done that. I just, a long time ago, I've done 10Ks and half marathons, but the satisfaction of doing a Hyrox is far superior because it tests everything, and I mean everything. So just please train and do it, in an environment that you enjoy. Try and find. I do it with a local gym, not a, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a franchise or a big, gym. I do it with there's a local owner. He's got a couple of gyms, and it's fantastic because there's a community. There's events, there's run clubs. It's amazing. You've just got to apply yourself in the right area, and then you'll perform. You know what I mean? It's not just doing the workouts. You've got to enjoy it, and you will enjoy it. Trust me, you will enjoy it. It's just getting the right environment that suits you and your personality, and there'll be other people in very similar boat than you as you. It's not all athletes and heroes that are in these gyms. There's people, new people walking in these gyms every day in the position that I'm in, and potentially you might be in as well. So we're all on, we're all on a journey to reach the summit. I'm at base camp. Some people are at camp 1, some people are at camp 2, some people are at camp 3, 4, some people are at the summit already. But every along that line from the summit to base camp all want to see you get to the top and get the summit and see the view. Every is on the same page with you. So don't worry about it. Just please, if you want to do it, just do it. You know what I mean? Join a gym, join one that you feel like the environment, maybe friends, families. I enjoyed a local owned community gym where kind of the people are similar minded, and it just feels, I don't know, I just like the community side of it. It's hard to explain. I can't really explain it. There's a lot more than just doing the workouts. There's the having a laugh, having a bit of fun, and then there's weekend events as well. Um, so if you can find something like that, I think you'll get soaked in, which is a good thing. It's a good it's a good bad habit to have if there's such a thing is getting a good gym community because it's amazing, and you'll never look back because you're making yourself physically better, mentally 100 times better. So please do it. Just do it, and I will do you know more kind of videos. Now I've got a wee bit of time. I'll do another one this weekend. I want to do one maybe about the racing, like the race day. Sorry, hints. Well, there's no hints because if you want a hint, what's the best way? If you want to know how a slug goes around Hyrox, then I'm probably your man. I could give you all the tips of the day on that. But what I'm thinking is first timers like me, just to give you some maybe ideas and tips and how my race day was basically, and it might resonate with you. Gives you a picture of what you're potentially going into. So I would like to do a video separately on that because there's a bit to cover. I'm not going to be on and on forever. There's a bit to cover. I would talk a bit more about training as well, but I just wanted to basically reconnect. I know I haven't got a huge following or subscribers. I think we're on 5 at the minute, which is fantastic. All I need is one of you guys to, if you're in a similar position to me, is to say, I'm going to join the gym and I'm going to do a Hyrox, then this channel is successful, and that's all it's about. Is just organic, raw, no fancy editing. It's only about people in a similar position to me who's done absolutely zero exercise in 10, 15 years. That's gone and done, which I think is one of the hardest, personally, I think it's one of the hardest races that you can do, apart from like an Ironman, obviously. It's one of the hardest races from a couch to a Hyrox, and getting it done injury free and getting a good time as well. But we'll discuss that. I think a good time. we'll discuss that probably in the race video or a separate video. But just reconnect with everybody anyway, as I said, and hopefully I can get one person to say in the comments that a big guy like me's inspired you to get in that gym, get on the computer, get an event booked, whether it's Hyrox, 10k, whatever. I want just one person to do it. And also, as of today, I actually signed up for a triathlon as well. Crazy, yeah? Hyrox now have decided to do a triathlon that I signed up for. Madness. I don't even know if I can swim, but anyway, we'll figure that out. That's in September. That could be another wee series, but we're still on Hyrox at the minute. I will be doing Hyrox again, 100%, absolutely 100%. But we'll maybe talk about that in the race video. But thanks everybody for their time. Hang in there, get into the gym, no excuses, and get some events booked so you've got something that you can actually train for and achieve.